Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on Qpvn channel. I'm Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn meets Vietnamese community in Switzerland. Diplomatic service dedicatedly serves nation. Mũi Né top water sports destination. On July the 27th local time in Geneva, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn and his spouse Nguyễn Thị Thanh Nga met with staff from Vietnamese representative offices and Vietnamese community in Switzerland. Meeting with the Vietnamese community in Switzerland, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn shared key achievements in Vietnam's socio-economic development. He emphasized the country's strong commitment to administrative reform, which has helped redirect resources towards healthcare and education. The party has issued 4 major strategic resolutions, and the National Assembly has passed laws to quickly implement them. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn called on ambassadors and diplomatic missions to actively promote the party's guidelines and the state laws and policies, especially new and strategic ones, to overseas Vietnamese. He also urged timely attention to the community's legitimate concerns and effective implementation of policies such as Resolution No. 36, Directive No. 45, and Conclusion No. 12 on overseas Vietnamese affairs. On the issue of Vietnamese language teaching, he asked the ambassador to closely support and report any challenges to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for coordination. He expressed hope that the Vietnamese community in Switzerland will continue to foster patriotism, unity, and stronger cooperation with the host country across diplomacy, economy, trade, investment, culture, education, and healthcare. A scientific seminar themed Diplomacy in the Ho Chi Minh Era, 80 years of dedicatedly serving the nation, was held on the morning of July the 28th as part of a series of events to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the establishment of the Diplomatic Service of Vietnam, August the 20th. The event saw the attendance of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn and Sing Lieutenant General Nguyễn Hồng Thái, Deputy Minister of National Defense. The delegates highlighted the stature and great contributions of Ho Chi Minh's era diplomacy to the cause of national construction and defense. Over the past 80 years of serving the nation, the Vietnamese diplomatic service has inherited and promoted the national identity, cultural features, and traditions, along with President Ho Chi Minh's diplomatic thought, which is the spirit of independence, self-reliance, peace, justice, and steadfastness for the national interest, always wholeheartedly serve the nation for national interest. It has also affirmed its pioneering role in maintaining a peaceful and stable environment, attracting resources and favorable conditions to serve the two strategic tasks of building and defending the fatherland, while contributing remarkably to enhancing the country's standing. Amidst the current volatile regional and world situation, persistently inheriting and promoting the legacy of Ho Chi Minh's thoughts on diplomacy is the guiding principle for Vietnam to build a comprehensive, modern, and professional diplomacy, contributing effectively to the implementation of the country's strategic goals, especially the 2030 and 2045 development goals set by the 13th National Party Congress. In Haiphong City, on the morning of July the 28th, Vice Chairman of the National Assembly Trần Quang Phương addressed a working session between the Diplomatic, Defense, and Security Committee of the National Assembly and Naval Region 1 and Coast Guard Region 1 on the building of the Bill on Emergency Situation. Vice Chairman Trần Quang Phương lauded the results of emergency response efforts of Naval Region 1 and Coast Guard Region 1, especially in the context of potentially complex maritime security situations. Regarding the Bill on Emergency Situation, he requested the units to carefully study and clarify the relationship between civil defense and emergency situations, fire prevention and fighting, search and rescue, thereby avoiding overlapping and ensuring feasibility in implementation. It is also necessary to give opinions on developing specialized forces and equipment, perfecting search, rescue, and response centers and stations in key areas, grasping situations, sharing information, closely coordinating with the authorities and forces at sea, contributing to building a solid whole people defense posture, people's security, and people's hard dispositions at sea. From the brutal realities of war to the competitive world of business, former soldiers have continued to serve the nation, this time on the economic front, with the same resilience, discipline, and camaraderie that defined them as Angkor soldiers. In times of peace, they choose not to rest, but to contribute to national development with their wisdom, experience, and unwavering dedication. The reporter of Qpvn channel talked with Nguyễn Đình Trường, Vice President of the Vietnam Association of Veteran Entrepreneurs, to explore the vital role veterans play in driving economic growth and their aspiration for innovation and transformation in an era of global integration. How do you evaluate the role of veterans in the defense of nation in the past and today's national construction? Joining and working in the Vietnam Veterans Association, I clearly recognized the importance of upholding the nature and tradition of Angkor soldiers. We now have over 1,000 businesses and 8,000 members, and during our second term alone, our total revenue reached up to some $40 billion, with a contribution of some $1.6 billion to the state. This shows that veterans engaging in business activities nationwide form a significant force. If we can properly promote the traditions of the military and stay true to our purpose, the contribution of veteran entrepreneurs to the economy can be tremendous, especially as we are now encouraged by the Politburo's Resolution number 68. In your view, what characterizes Vietnamese veterans in peacetime, particularly in the private economic sector? I believe the identity is best embodied in the core values defined by our Association of Veteran Entrepreneurs: unity, cooperation, brotherhood, and shared development. From the outset, we've emphasized unity and cooperation because in today's interconnected world, no business can succeed in isolation. We must think strategically and act with vision. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính once said, "Resources begin with thinking and vision. Motivation comes from innovation and creativity, and strength lies in the people and in our enterprises." In the context of innovation and global integration, how do you view the contribution of veterans to local economic development and job creation? Today, the Vietnam Veterans Association has over 3 million members who once fought on the front lines, served in governments at all levels, and contributed to economic development. As we move into a new chapter of national growth, I believe these 3 million veterans represent a strong political and ideological foundation for the party and state, a trusted force that helps uphold public confidence and leads by example in carrying out party policies at the grassroots level. Currently, veteran-led enterprises are undergoing restructuring and preparing to take on new projects and missions entrusted by the party and state, actively contributing to the nation's next wave of achievements. I firmly believe that with the proud tradition of Angkor soldiers, forged in wartime and strengthened through decades of economic reform, veterans entrepreneurs will remain steadfast and resilient, making more contribution. Coming up next, Vietnam and ASEAN, 30 years of membership and beyond. Mũi Né top water sports destination. Through 30 years of ASEAN membership, Vietnam has consistently demonstrated its constructive, pioneering, and responsible role. One evident example is the initiative to launch ASEAN Future Forum, which receives high appreciation from leaders and experts. So what should Vietnam do to continue making its mark in ASEAN and contribute to realizing the ASEAN Community Vision 2045? Let's join a talk with Dr. Lê Phương Hoa, Deputy Director of Institute for Asia-Pacific Studies, Vietnam Academy of Social Sciences. After 30 years of joining ASEAN, in your opinion, what factors have enabled Vietnam to go from a latecomer to a pioneering member with highly appreciated initiatives? The first factor we confirm is our sound policies and practical approach. Within ASEAN, Vietnam has actively participated in all activities of ASEAN, and Vietnam joins hands with ASEAN member countries to formulate the grouping's principles, rules, and development directions. Additionally, Vietnam's foreign policy has been boosted, which helps diversify and step up relations, not only Vietnam's ties with friends, but also ASEAN's relations with external partners. As we know, being the ASEAN chair in 2010, Vietnam proposed an idea to invite Russia and the U.S. to join the East Asia Summit. They officially participated in the East Asia Summit in 2011. Secondly, Vietnam's active role in fostering internal unity proves Vietnam's position. As we know, Vietnam joined ASEAN in 1995. Vietnam actively supported Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar to join ASEAN, making ASEAN a unified grouping of all 10 Southeast Asian countries. Thirdly, Vietnam's coordinating capacity during its ASEAN chair terms has been highly appreciated. The first time was in 1998. At that time, the Southeast Asia faced the crisis phase of 1997-1998. Vietnam played a big role in uniting countries to effectively respond to the crisis. We saw that in 2010, we passed the Common Action Plan for ASEAN connectivity. That shows the vision of Vietnam's role. Recently, we undertook the role of ASEAN chair in 2020. At that time, the Southeast Asia as well as the world were facing the difficulties due to the COVID-19, and Vietnam actively proposed initiatives and solutions. The years that Vietnam served as ASEAN chair also demonstrated Vietnam's capacity in coordinating and leading ASEAN. One thing that can be affirmed is Vietnam's efforts for development. In the Southeast Asia, from being a poor and underdeveloped country, Vietnam has strongly developed and played the leading role in ASEAN. To realize the ASEAN's Community Vision 2045, what should Vietnam prioritize to continue maintaining its role as initiator in linkages in the region? Regarding Vietnam's role, it is now more clearly demonstrated in 3 pillars. That is connection, constructiveness, and protection. For connection, what we need to do is promote connectivity within the grouping, which is the plan that ASEAN is currently implementing. And that initiative was approved in the year of Vietnam's chairmanship. For external connectivity, Vietnam is currently doing quite well, but we're still in the process of making more efforts to demonstrate the connecting role. Secondly, the constructive role. We must be proactive. We stayed active in the past. Now we need to propose more initiatives that are suitable to the current context. Additionally, we've actively participated in building specific schemes of ASEAN. For a 2026-2030 plan, we should be more active to be able to integrate Vietnam's plan into ASEAN's plan. Currently, Vietnam enters the era of national growth with 4 pillars resolutions that are very important to Vietnam and in line with ASEAN's plans in digital transformation, green economy, or in response to arising issues. We must always remember, always protect the ASEAN approaches that we have followed, which have brought values to ASEAN over the past time. It proves that ASEAN is a cohesive group that protects the ASEAN approaches and focuses on people-centered goals. Mũi Né, one of Vietnam's most famous beach destinations, was named Southeast Asia's top water sports destination by this prestigious National Geographic Traveler magazine, thanks to its stunning landscape and storm-free weather. According to the magazine, Mũi Né offers ideal conditions for windsurfing, kite surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, paragliding, parasailing, and a wide range of exciting marine activities. With steady winds, consistent waves, and dry weather almost all year round, Mũi Né stands out as a perfect spot for outdoor sports. Uniquely, the area is rarely affected by storms, allowing year-round water sport experiences. Besides, Mũi Né is also a popular retreat with its soft white sands, clear and blue waters, sand dunes, charming fishing villages, and coastal resorts, offering a blend of unspoiled nature and modern comfort for both domestic and international visitors. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.